Alright students, today we are going to finish up our unit on circles by writing and graphing equations of circles. This is notes 10.7. We're going to start by just kind of looking at some circles that have been graphed already. It says use the graphs in the equations of 3 circles with center at 0, 0. So the center, here's the center of the circle. It's at 0, 0. And you can tell that this is the small, the medium, and the large circle. So down here I'm going to put the center is at 0, 0 for this one, 0, 0 for this one, and at 0, 0 for this one. Now if we count, I can find the radius because that's the next thing they want me to do. They want me to find the length of the radius. So that's going to be 1 unit, 2 units. So that's going to be 2 units. And you look over here, this is going to be 1, 2, 3. So that's 3 units, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4, so that's 4 units. Now, what I want you to do is take a look at the equation, and what you can tell right away is that the radius, if you square it, it's going to equal the number on the end. 3 squared is 9, 4 squared is 16. So that starts to formulate some of the information that we're going to need for our standard equation of a circle. So now, what happens when we shift the circles to different locations on the graph? So it says use the graphs and the equations of 3 circles with different, this is supposed to say centers, with different centers. Okay, so first of all we need to locate the center. So here is a diameter, here is a diameter, so the 2 diameters intersect at the center. And so the center here is at 2, 2. This is at 2, 2. And my radius is 1, 2. So that's 2 units. So again, you can see that our idea of taking the radius and squaring it to equal this number here holds true. But start to take a look at the relationship between the x-coordinate and this number here and the y-coordinate and this number here. Alright, let's move to the next one. The next one, again, here's the diameter. Here's the diameter. There's the center. This center is located at -2, +2. -2, comma, +2. And then if I look at the radius, it's also going to be 2 units. See, and so it holds true. Now take a look at the relationship here between the x-coordinate and the y-coordinate. Okay, now one more. So here's my diameter, and there's my center. My center is at -2, -2. So -2, comma, -2. And of course the radius is still 2 units. So you should have some idea of what's happening here now. You can start to see the relationship between where the circle's center is located and how long the radius is to the actual equation of the circle. Okay, so first of all, we're going to start with the letters H and K. Choosing the letters H and K have no meaning, but this is considered the center of the circle. R stands for radius, and then X and Y, that's just a point, some random point like this one here or this one here that's actually on the circle. So X and Y stands for a point on the circle. Okay, so now if we're going to write down our standard equation of the circle, notice how we have a set of parentheses. We always start with an x here, and then squared, plus set of parentheses y, squared, and then equaling, and then over here, that's going to be our radius squared. Alright, so what do we put here? Well, it's always going to be subtracting the x-coordinate of our center, and the x-coordinate of our center is -h. And so this one's going to be subtracting the y-coordinate. So this right here is our standard equation of our circle. Okay, next. the next page, we're going to graph the equation of the circle. So they're giving it to us, and now we have to graph it. Well, we have to work backwards on this one. We actually have to find our center. And the easiest way to do that is to take your set of parentheses, which is x plus 4, and set it equal to 0. Then, when you subtract 4 from both sides, that's going to give you negative 4. That means that the x-coordinate of the center is negative 4. So that means our h. You can also write it as h equals negative 4. Okay, now do the same thing for y. Y minus 3 equals 0. Here I'm going to add 3 to both sides. So the y-coordinate of the center is going to be positive 3. Or that's the k. K equals positive 3. So knowing that, my center is located at negative 4, 3. So that's when I'm starting to graph, that's what I want to do, is I want to locate my center first. Negative 4 and positive 3. There's my center. Now, the next step that you want to take is locate your radius. How long, what's the length of the radius? Well, here, remember, this stands for radius squared. So radius squared equals 9. That means my radius is the square root of both sides. That's going to be 3. Okay, so from the center, I'm going to count. I call it north, south, east, and west. So here, I go up 3, 1, 2, 3, and I put a dot. And I go down 3, 1, 2, 3, and I put a dot. I go to the left, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Now, those are my 4 points, and I just make a curved line the best that I can through all of these points. And sometimes they'll come out looking like eggs, but with practice, you'll get better at drawing your circle. And there you go. All right, next, I have write the standard equation with center negative 4, 0, and radius 5. Okay, well, here my h is negative 4, and my k is 0, since the center, remember, is hk. And then my radius is 5. So this is all the information that I have from the sentence. Okay, so standard form, that's going to be x minus h. So that's going to be x minus a negative 4 squared plus y minus, that should be, say k, y minus my k, which is 0, squared, equals my radius squared. Okay, cleaning this up, that's x minus a negative, so that's going to be plus 4. So x plus 4 squared plus, that's going to be just y minus 0 is just y, so it's going to be y squared equaling 5 squared, which is 25. So there is my equation of my circle. Okay, the next one, they want me to also write the standard equation of a circle, but they didn't give me a radius this time. They gave me a point on the circle, so that's my x and my y, and they gave me my center, which is my h and my k. Okay, so what I know so far from this sentence is that x is equal to 1, y is equal to 2, h is equal to negative 5, and k is equal to 1. So if I were going to just plug this into a standard equation, my first reaction would be to say, well, that's going to be x minus negative 5 squared plus y minus 1 squared equaling r squared. Okay, well, cleaning this up, that would be x plus 5 squared plus y minus 1 squared equaling r squared. And I can't go any further because I have to find the radius. So, plan B. That didn't get me anywhere. So plan B, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to say, well, I know an x and a y, so I'm going to plug it in for x and y. That's going to be 1 minus my negative 5 squared plus the y is going to be 2 minus the 1 squared, and that equals r squared. So let's see if we can clean this up and find out what radius is, or r squared, because that's really what we're looking for. We're looking for r squared. So here, that's going to be 1 minus a negative 5, so that's 1 plus 5. So that's 6 squared plus 2 minus 1, that's just 1 squared equals r squared. That's going to be 36 plus 1 equals r squared. So that's going to be 37 equals r squared. Now, if you wanted to find the radius would be the square root of 37, but all we needed was this right here. We could have stopped right here. So my final answer is going to be x plus 5 squared plus y minus 1 squared equaling 37. And that's my final answer right there. Okay. Next, it says, the equation of the circle is this. Tell whether each point is in, on, or outside of the circle. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is graph it. I need to find my center, which is going to be x minus 4 equals 0, so that means x is plus 4, that's going to be at 4. Y minus 2 equals 0, so plus 2, that means y equals 2. So my center is at 4, 2. 4, 2. There's my center. My radius squared is 9, so the radius is 3. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. So here's my circle. Alright, now to tell whether or not this is in the circle, you just look and see. So that's going to be 5, 1, that's going to be inside, it's in the circle. 8, that's 7, 8 is over here, and then 2, that's going to be outside. This one, 1, 2, that's this point right here, so that's going to be on the circle. And then 4, 5, that's right here, that's this point, that's on the circle. Now, let's say that we didn't have a graph. What would we do then? Well, this is my x and this is my y, so I would just plug it into this equation. Here I have 5 minus 4 squared plus 1 minus 2 squared equals 9. Here, that's going to be 1 squared plus, that's going to be negative 1 squared equals 9. And here, that's going to be 1 plus 1. So that's 2 does not equal 9. Okay, so since 2 does not equal 9, we know that it's not on the circle. And see how this left side is less than? 2 is less than 9. So that means that it's on the inside. Okay? Over here, do the same thing. You know, this is your x, this is your y. So that's going to be 8 minus 4 squared plus 2 minus 2 squared equaling 9. 8 minus 4 is 4, so that's going to be 4 squared plus, that's going to be 0 squared equaling 9. And you don't need the parentheses. That's just 0 squared. Okay, so that's going to be 16 plus 0 equals 9. So 16, that doesn't equal 9, so it's not on the circle. It's either going to be inside or outside. And since 16 is greater than 9, it's going to be on the outside. Because this one's too small to get outside the circle, and this one is too big to be inside the circle. Okay, next. Here we've got 1 minus 4 squared plus 2 minus 2 squared equals 9. So here we get a negative 3 squared plus 0 squared equals 9. Negative 3 times negative 3 is 9 plus 0. So since 9 equals 9, that means that it is a solution, and so that it's on the circle. Okay, next we have 4 minus 4 squared plus 5 minus 2 squared equals 9. That's going to be 0 squared plus 3 squared equals 9. So that's going to be 0 plus 9 equals 9, or 9 equals 9. So that's why it's on the circle. Alright folks, that's it for notes 10.7, and that's all for our study on Chapter 10.